Hi, Alinka and John here. We've talked so much about possibly starting a podcast, and this is not that, but we thought with just everything going on, it'd be a good idea for us to get on here and talk about some of the top questions that we get as it relates to racial injustice. I think everybody's in a place right now where they're wanting to know, what can we do? What do I do differently? What am I doing wrong? And so I wanted to just maybe get on here maybe once, twice a week and just share like the top question that we get all the time. So I'll go first. All right, so the question that I get, and I get this question a lot at work, and the question is, do you prefer to be called Black, African American, or this new term now, which is new for me because we didn't get it when we were younger, which is POC, or person of color. So I get that a lot at work. So what do you prefer to be called?
That's a term that was out in the 90s, but I don't care. Black, person of color, African American, as long as the context of the conversation is appropriate, as long as the tone that it's being said is appropriate, I'm okay with that. It works for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Like, I think it doesn't really matter. But for perspective's sake, just so that you know, I think there are people that argue they don't want to be called Black because Black is a color and we're different shades of brown. That's a perspective that we get. People may not like to be called person of color because you're coloring something and it feels like an inanimate object. And third, African American. I know for my siblings, cousins, family community, I'm West Indian. So there are some people of my culture who don't like to be called African American.
They may not be American.
Right. So, I think that is just like, maybe we should just go ahead and now and say the disclaimer. John and I'm one Black person, he is one Black person. We make up two Black people of the entire community. So we do not speak for everyone. So ask and see what the person prefers to be called. What about you? What question do you get?
The most common question I think I get is, what can we do to help? Or what can we do? It's interesting that it's just starting to come out, in 2020. What can we do? But we're glad we're here. We're glad that's the question that people are asking today. So what do you think? What can your friends do in regards to people that are not African American or Black, typically white people? What can they do to help the situation that we're in?
Yeah, it's a good question. And there's so many things to do, right? But one thing that I tell my friends that are moms is about the exposure that you have for your children. So making sure that your children have diverse friends, people that look different from them, I think it's very important. And I really think relationship is the best way to combat stereotypes and biases, because when you get to know people, that's how you begin to really celebrate people's differences and their uniqueness.
Absolutely. And to add to that, for me, I think you're always tempted to say, well, support Black businesses and things like that. But honestly, before we even get to that part, one of the most pivotal things that I would consider is education. Taking the time to learn about what actually happened throughout history. What are some of the systematic issues and concerns? How does one thing impact another thing, And really, what is the dynamic there for people of color and for Black people? Because many times you just don't see it. It's not as blatant as one would hope. So just take the time to educate yourself. Start with The 13th, that documentary on Netflix. It's easy, it's accessible. You can watch it in an hour, you're done, and now you've got a starting point. And then you can do further research from there.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, well, those were just one of our top 5 questions. And we thought it'd be really cool, like I said earlier, we could come on here maybe once or twice a week and just answer, some of those questions that we get, most frequently asked questions. If you have a question, feel free to message one of us and we can answer it. We're happy to do it. And Black people, if you have a question, you're like, Alinka, John, people keep asking me this, can you just answer it? We're happy to do that too.
Or if you feel that we didn't answer something adequately, share your input there. That would be a welcome as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys.